Color is Kush, KUSH, the highest station in the nation. You got Big Mike on a Tuesday afternoon. It's the 28th of April, 4:34 in the p.m., and the talk is on Baltimore. Everybody's talking about Baltimore. My heart goes out to any of the people that were victimized in any portion of what's going on out there. We do have a atrocity on our hands, folks. We do. We've got a problem. Big Mike's going to tell it to you. You got a problem. We've got a problem. We've got a big problem. Our people are getting killed by our law enforcement. Point blank. Whether in custody or in apprehension or in whatever state of the judicial process that is not the end of the process as a result of a verdict of a jury by their peers. We need to get a grip on what's the real issue when we have something like this. You know, I mean, I own my own business. I've owned my own business for a number of years. If I am running into problems of liability related to an employee, then I document, videotape, audio tape, whatever, by whatever means I'm monitoring, phone calls, whatever. There's a way to monitor these police. They're just not doing it because it's the good old boys. And not, I'm tired of hearing, not all cops are bad. Don't tell me the frickin' obvious. But not all cops are good, obviously. So let's not go to the blanket statement before we address the individual. If we have bad cops and they're not in jail and they're still on the force and the police unions are all standing together in solidarity for this person's rights, there's a higher set of rights here. It's called the right as an American citizen to be treated fairly. We're not supposed to be hunted by our law enforcement. And if you don't think it's you, if you can separate yourself from what exactly I'm saying, any American citizen is afforded the right to due process if you're going to go to the point that they were criminals or they were accused of a crime. But a murderer is a murderer. A murder is a murder. Now, if it's found that it's a justified murder, then it's a justified murder. But if you're killing somebody, it's a murder. And these people that killed these other people are murderers. That's all the details you really need to know. Shame on you for saying anything else. The Constitution does not say to this color, that color. We are supposed to be an enlightened, better thinking America. Why are we getting caught up in details? This gentleman was in custody and he was killed. The person who killed him should be able to have his day in court. Due process. But he should be in jail. He should be charged. Anybody who kills somebody else, that's what they're doing to us. They'll charge you for anything. Anything. Their instruction is to trump up as many charges as they can in every arrest opportunity. That's across the board, people. These are the sorcerer's brooms. These are our employees. We want it this way. I do not think it's fair that anybody should be killed by law enforcement. Yes, if they're attacking law enforcement, but we've gotten loose on what is an actual threat and what is an actual overreaction and what is actual murder. Let's not lose sight of things, people. We're American people. We're a free country. Our police, and for that matter, the word police should be taken off of any squad car, any department, anywhere in the United States. Where in American society, a free American society, does anybody want to be policed? What are you policing? And to the people I know there is a need for a force of security at a community level, but they're not policing us. They're serving and protecting us. And if people are stepping out of line, they're going to protect us. Where is the protection of anybody when arbitrarily people are getting shot? Today it's black men that are dying. When does it come around to you? The fact of the matter is, if they're an American citizen and their rights to due process in the form of, if we're going to consider this an entirely different scenario and this is an arrest procedure in the beginning process, then the Constitution affords every American the right to a fair trial. And none of these people got a right to a fair trial in any of the cases. We'll never know if they're innocent or guilty of the crimes they were accused of, because a wheel in the process is gone awry. We need to audit every one of our law enforcement agencies, making sure that they understand who they work for, making sure that they're not hunting us with drones, license plate scanners, no-knock searches, DUI checkpoints. It's crazy, people. It is freaking crazy for us to go to any other atrocity in an event like this other than the source. The source is we got cops murdering people. Now, good cop, bad cop, whatever. Let's let the courts decide all that. Let's get him in jail. If you murdered somebody, let's get you secured so that you can have your day in court. Because why is it, that they're put on administrative leave? Yes, it is part of their job, but somebody still lost a life, and it deserves the eyes of the legal system first and foremost, before it goes to a department review. We, the people, have to demand that every murder goes to a murder charge. If they're innocent or if it's justified, let them have their day in court just like anybody else. But we can't let them walk free, and we cannot tell people that they're not getting justice or they're getting bowled over by their government. Why are we fighting that with tear gas and not education on what the actual steps to remedy when you feel victimized by your police department, by your mayor's department, by your city council? Why aren't there kiosks being set up in commercials, infomercials, instructing the people on how to responsibly protest? This is a setup. This is a setup, people. Wake up. It's not a coincidence that all these atrocities are happening in a row. They are trying to ignite civil unrest in order for, I don't know what their agenda is, but they're certainly not taking every precaution to keep every person safe. They're too busy setting us up on DUI checkpoints, and they're too busy setting us up with bait cars. There's more unmarked vehicles than there are marked vehicles in the United States when it comes to law enforcement. If the number one deterrent to crime is the presence, the seen, felt presence of law enforcement, then why the hell do we have so many unmarked cars? Let's get all these in orange, bright orange cars so we can see them. They're not supposed to be giving us tickets for revenue, and they're not supposed to be hunting us. And they're not even supposed to ask for your identification until you've been arrested of a crime. The entire process in the investigation is not to get somebody's name and find out what they did in the past, to see what they did in the future. Where are these officers? They're turning our heads one way with smoke and mirrors. Stick to the Constitution. Stick to what you know is right. Every man is created equal. And if you can't stand behind that, then you got to question why you're in America to begin with. And if you're American to begin with. Come on now, people. 2015, and we're really, really, really focusing on if this gentleman had a criminal record or not. What about the criminal that killed him? If you're going to call criminals like that, then somebody committed a murder. And if you're not going to give that guy due process, don't give the other guy due process. At least make it fair. I don't know where we got separated when we look at somebody suffering in our country at the hands of our government, and we don't see the us and them as not the criminals versus the non-criminals. It's the citizens versus the government. And the government work for us. It's supposed to be we the people for the people. If we can't trust the government to bring us safely to justice in front of a jury of our peers, then you do have civic unrest. Nobody is taking responsibility for the people that are violating not only the rights of these gentlemen, the rights of everyday citizens. License plate scanners are a violation of our constitutional rights. Whoever approved those should be in jail. A crime against the Constitution should be the highest crime you can commit in this country. To commit a crime against the American people. Our government works for us. They're our employees, and they're responsible to us. And if they're violating our rights or they're violating their oaths to uphold the Constitution, let's get them in jail. Let's get them in jail. They're hunting us, people. They're hiding behind signs. They got fancy colors, but make no mistake, they're a united force, a united army that is ready to hunt and kill the American people down. Not us against, not the impoverished people, not the black people, not the white people, but all of us, because we're all the same. You are no different. If you're living in suburban America, you're living in farm America, and you think this doesn't relate to you, it relates to you. It's about everything controlling on government, and it's about the Constitution of the United States. There should be no question what to do here. Don't fall for the mass media. Don't fall for what they're telling you should be outraged about. Yeah, the rioting sucks. No, they shouldn't do that. But what are they, why aren't we educating them? Why are we trying to arrest them? Why didn't we just go to arrest? Because they're driving this. It's them. And it's not going to be long before you're the one being arrested, or your kid being arrested, or somebody you know is being treated with the same level of disrespect and the same level of criminal deprivation of our constitutional rights. There should be no greater crime. And for this particular situation, those officers had him incarcerated. He was in a position of trust. The only thing, he couldn't get away. They were people in positions of trust. And every time an officer commits a crime, that's a person of trust committing a crime. Yes, their job is harder, but yes, they should be held to a higher standard. They're trained. And if they're not trained, we should train them. But make no mistake, there should be no officer on the streets of any street in America, Main Street, Martin Luther King Drive, 84th Street, what have you, that doesn't know that his employer are the people that he is looking at. They are not the prey. They are not the hunted. They are not the civilians. They are their boss. And if you kill your boss, you should go to jail. What is the problem, people? Have they dumbed you down that much? Are you drinking that much Kool-Aid? Get a frickin' clue. Once you start calling one person different, then you could be called different. We don't have to rewrite a beautiful document that was written for us. And if our government has gone rogue, let's rein that government in. Let's get them behind bars as soon as humanly possible. Not with elections. Let's call our legal forces, and whoever's not upholding their oath, whoever's violating the Constitution, let's get them in jail. Call your state attorney general. Find out. Let's find this out. Big Mike, KUSH, Denver.